Hi and welcome to episode 23 of the This Is Reportage podcast. My name is Alan Law, I'm the founder of This Is Reportage and I'm a wedding photographer too. Today I'm thrilled to have the fab David Scholes with us. Joint ninth in our top photographers of last year, second in the UK overall with 8 Reportage Awards and 2 Story Awards in 2019. Not only is he a great photographer, but he's also a lovely guy who's a real pleasure to talk to. Stick with us today as David shares all about how his uncle, grandfather and great-grandfather were all wedding photographers, his tips, advice about Story Awards, things he would have done differently, both in terms of life and photography, some of the very funny things that have happened to him at weddings, the story behind one of his specific Reportage Awards, what makes a good wedding photographer, and so much more. Hey man, how you doing?
Hey Alan, how you doing? You okay?
I am totally fine. Yeah, fine, man. Yeah, obviously strange times, but yeah. How are you? How are you getting on with things?
I think just like everyone else, really. You know, it's strange times indeed, and getting through it and hoping that some positives will come from it. I don't know what they are yet.
No. A busy 2021 probably. That's a positive. I guess.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Yeah.
How's
Definitely.
it looking for you then at the moment? Have you had many postpone and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had got a few this month in May and June, so I think realistically, I don't think I'm gonna have one until sort of August, September now. I've got a couple in the diary still, but I think they'll move as well. So yeah.
Same with me.
I guess they don't know. Some couples are obviously going to hang on because they want it to go ahead. They don't know what's happening, but yeah. I think if it was me getting married, I'd be looking to postpone, I think.
Yeah, and how have you been finding the postponements okay to handle with? And
yeah, they've all been great, actually, really good. And there's only been one that I've not been available for the new date. So I'll work with them to figure something out for that. But
okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's go off that subject for the moment. Anyway,
yeah, and, it's definitely dominating at the moment, isn't it?
It's a little bit. It is a little bit.
I only agreed to this to try and forget about it.
I'm going to bring you back to it later. Bring you back to it. No. So you come, am I right? You come from a long line of wedding photographers. Don't you? Is it your uncle, grandfather, and great grandfather are all wedding?
Uncle Bob, Granddad Bob. No, it's Uncle John. My uncle, my grandfather, and my great grandfather were all wedding photographers. Yeah.
Wow, proper lineage.
I know. I had no intention of following in the footsteps, but here I am.
Yeah. How did it happen for you then? So they didn't force you down on their knees and say you're going to have to do weddings and
no, not at all. It's my mum's side of the family, and so which is Pye, and they had at one point the second oldest photography studio in the country, I believe. It was back when, because it's a small town where I'm originally from. It's back when you'd have the town photographer and the town landlord or whatever. So but they were all wedding photographers, and I just, like most teenagers, didn't know what I was going to do myself. I was drawing and art were my best subjects, so that's kind of what I sort of focused on, really. But I always just believed that my career as a DJ would take off, and this art thing was just in the meantime.
So, I was going to ask you about that. Then you used to do a lot of DJing, yeah? You played at festivals and stuff, didn't you? And
I mean, not major festivals, but a couple of small ones. Yeah, played up a few good clubs in England, and a couple of gigs in Russia and stuff. So yeah, been about. Cool. Nothing like the level that Steve Gerrard was.
Do you know what? That's so, and it's such a coincidence. He's going to be like one of the next people that I actually talk to.
Yeah, well, he won't remember this, but actually, I think it was in 2004. I did a workshop with him, but as a DJing one. He was
a DJ one.
Well, it was with John Digweed, who's is one of my favorite DJs, and I went to a DJing workshop day thing that he was putting on, and Steve Gerrard was. I think the support DJ for the gig that was that night. So, because he was a big deal, man. But yeah.
That's mad. Yeah, I've heard a little. I know he had an album or something, did he? Or I don't know.
Yeah, well, and he was also. I apologise, Steve, if I'm getting this wrong, but I later found out. I think that he was part of an act called Rectangle, and I loved their records. I got a few of their records.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. I kept seeing this name in the Nine Dots group and going, I wonder if it's the same person, and it was.
That's a funny coincidence with me and you then as well, because actually my very first wedding photography workshop was with Steve Gerrard.
Was it? Oh, yeah. There you are. Tell you, he's the pioneer of everything.
So you're quite rare, I think, amongst wedding photographers, in that you actually have a degree in photography.
I do.
Yeah, can you tell us about that? Did they teach about weddings at all, or was that like?
Okay. So I got into photography because I was doing art courses. I was really, really slow at drawing. I just went into ridiculous detail, a bit like with editing, to be honest. But I was really slow at drawing, and I found that photography was a way of just getting the pictures out quicker. So and I started to really like it, and it was back in the film and darkroom days. I went to Nottingham first, and it was a bit advanced for me, and I changed to Manchester, and it was more of a fine art course with a camera. So
Okay.
So I left that degree. I got a Desmond Tutu,
Yeah,
but I didn't. I was into photographing like derelict buildings and things, and had no interest in anything with people in. But that was because I just didn't know what to do with people. So I was quite happy just being in a corner somewhere photographing an old room. But they started wanting you to have all this contextual meaning to your pictures, and I'm not much of a deep thinker, and I just started thinking, oh man, I just like the look of it, but I wasn't good enough. So but I when I left university, I didn't know what an f-stop was, ISO, anything. Well, exactly, yeah. I got an after uni job in a call center, but I ended up working in one of those.
What call center? What was it?
Barclaycard, yeah.
Oh,
Bad
nice.
times.
Were you like chasing people for debt and stuff?
No, potentially worse than that, actually, Alan. I was in the sales team selling PPI and however, I was really bad at my job, and I never made a sale, which meant I didn't have as much money as people. However, my conscience is clear.
That's nice. So then did you work for?
I ended up working for those venture studios, and pretty much put me off photography completely. I mean, but I was a studio photographer, So you did a shoot there. All the settings on the camera, you didn't change them. It was ISO 200, 250 shutter speed, f8, f16, and. So exactly. So it was all about just dealing with people and obviously organising group shots with kids and animals and stuff, which was pretty horrible, in my early 20s as well. If I was doing a Saturday after a Friday night out, so
Then how did you get that first wedding then?
So eventually, people start coming through the studio and you know them, and then they go, "Oh, do you do weddings?" And I was, "Oh no, I don't." And they went, "Oh, Shane, we really like your pictures." I went, "Well, I could do, I was thinking to myself at the time, because of how weddings were, because it was 2005 when I shot my first wedding.
Right. Okay.
And I was just thinking, well, if I can sort out the group shots, then I guess the rest of it will just sort of happen,
Did you bring all like the studio lighting equipment and everything?
No, but the money that they paid me for it, I bought a speed light with. Okay. I already had one camera with one kit lens. And I didn't even ever have a lens cap, Alan. I put a sock on the end of my camera lens to stop it from getting scratched in the car.
That's funny. So, at least you probably remember to take the sock off, though. Probably.
Yeah. Someone pointed at it. Yeah.
So how did that first wedding go then?
I got lucky, quite well. I mean, so like probably many other people when they just get into weddings, you look at the photographers in the area who were popular, and there was one person. She produced this work that was, I think, now looking back, it was blatantly staged, but it didn't look staged. And I liked that, and it seemed very popular, and it wasn't looking at the camera. Like I said, it was almost like set up reportage. So I had a few kind of go-to things that I would do if I needed to. But even then, I think I was just capturing the reportage stuff. It's just I would go to more gimmicks with group shots and couple shots, and running at running at the camera and jumping up in the air on 3 and stuff, you know.
Oh, nice.
Loving
not do that anymore.
No, not anymore. No, I stopped that last year. I was planning on bringing it back this year, man, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be next year.
So it must have gone pretty well though then. So what happened?
I got lucky in the sense that it was really beautiful weather, and they were a very easygoing couple, and it was in nice venues with. It was easy, you know. It was actually the second wedding I ever did where it was more tricky because that was raining and I didn't have a very good lens, and it was a zoom lens, so I didn't understand why when I zoomed in, my pictures went underexposed. So, you know, because obviously it was what was it, a 3.2 to 4. Yeah, anyway, so I didn't know what I was doing. I saw one of my uncle's pictures in a church, and I was like, Uncle John, how have you got this picture so well lit? I mean, you've not used flash, it's not blurry. It's like, well, I just cranked up the film speed. I said, well, are you still using film in your cameras? And he went, no, you know, the ISO. Oh, it was a light bulb moment. I was still doing my weddings, all at ISO 200 in church, everything, you know. I was slowing the shutter speed down and getting these really blurry pictures.
Oh, right. Okay, man, that's funny.
I remember standing at the first wedding. I was sat at the back of the church, crouched on the floor with my camera resting on my knees. I was holding my breath and doing like these 10-second exposures. So yeah, man. So if anyone ever gets criticised for doing weddings and not knowing what they're doing, well, there you go.
But obviously it must have gone well, because then you've done, that was 2005. Did you say your first one? Yeah,
but I only did a handful of weddings up until I started working for myself, which was 2010.
Okay, cool.
So I just done. It was like a, you know, if I was, because I still worked in this studio, and if someone asked me if I'd photograph their wedding, then yeah, brilliant. So, but I did really enjoy it, and I was planning on moving into that anyway, sort of going part time and having a bit of a security blanket. But then I lost my job at the studio, and I had to go straight into it. And but that's when I started to really, really love photography, and you know, because I do really genuinely love this job now. Feel very lucky to do it, but I didn't at the start. When I was working at the studio, like I said, I didn't have a camera, and I just thought, when is this DJing going to take off?
Right. So then that was a bit of a blessing for you then to lose that job, and that kind of forced you to go into it like full time.
With hindsight, the only thing is I started off with a lot of debt, so you know, credit card balances and things like that. So yeah, but yeah, no, all good. Everything happens for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, I totally believe that, and you're rocking it, man. So like, you came joint 9th in the world in our top photographers of 2019, which is second in the UK as well. I mean, that's awesome. You're
crazy,
totally rocking it.
Yeah, it baffles me, really. I don't know. I'm always surprised when I get that reportage email. Very excited, obviously, but yeah. But the thing is,
good, man.
But I think that this is reportage. I'm going to sound like I'm after a 3 years membership here, Alan. I think it has genuinely. I'm not just saying it. It's really helped me sort of look at my own work and try and improve my game. I remember when it first came out, I thought, this is brilliant, and obviously I knew you and I wanted to be a part of it. I thought it's going to be a great thing. And there's some awards, and I thought, well, I need to enter the first round, you know, before everyone's a member, because that's my best bet of getting one. So, and
well, it worked for you though.
But I think as it's gone on, the award collections are so amazing, and they really make me look at myself and think, I want to not ever copy other people, but I want to just try and get a bit more that, you know, I want to get more humor in my photos, and I want to try and get more stories within one image. You know, do you know what I mean? Sort of, I get like little goals and targets and things that I just want to set for myself.
That's really cool.
So that's what I really like about it. You know, it's I think I would say that it has helped me improve my work, I think. So because that's the hard thing working for yourself, isn't it? Because you don't, you know, no one ever, you don't have a boss that says, yeah, you're not doing bad, you're all right, yeah, you're on target.
That's true. So your wife, does your wife not like look at your images and say,
no, she doesn't have any, she's lost interest. Yeah. I think she does quite like some of the pictures I take, but she just doesn't have any interest in looking at them. Sometimes every now and then on Instagram, I get a Victoria Scholes has liked your image. Slow day at work today, Vic.
That's funny. It's funny as what you mentioned how you went to the very first reportage, which you did. You're actually one of the original Story Award winners. You know that back then I think there are only I think 3 or 4 Story Award winners in the first selection. Yeah, and you're
there
one
you
of
go. You see, that's how I won it. Get in there before everyone else enters. It's too late now. If you're just starting out now, it's too late.
No, it's awesome. And you've won, I think you've won 3 more stories as well. So you've won like 4 stories, I think. Is that right? I think it is.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they're what you're the most proud of. It's the unique thing to this is reportage, isn't it? And
that's cool. Yeah, I do love it. Do you have any? I know quite a few people are interested in the stories, but do you have any tips or advice about how to win one? Because
I don't think anything I say is going to be a surprise or something that no one's ever said before. You've got 20 images to enter, and they've got to be. Every image has got to be strong. It's got to be, all killer, no filler. And your first image in particular, it's got to be a strong image. And
I think that's so important when the judges are looking at so many as well.
Yeah, and one of my favorite Story Awards was one of the more recent ones that I got, which was from the Indian wedding, and again, it's a personal thing, isn't it? And it could just be because it was different judges, but I felt personally that was some of the one of the better weddings that I'd photographed. There was just so many moments throughout the whole day. I got lucky. All the ingredients were there for it to just make the pictures took themselves,
No, and it's not. You're modest though by saying luck, because you can't get lucky to win a Story Award though. I think because you have to have so many moments and captured so well.
But there was a lot of moments, and in a 6 a.m. start to a midnight finish, it was getting it down to 20 was possible.
Well, yeah.
But I entered it the time before, and it didn't pick up an award, and after I kicked everything around the room in rage. No, I'm joking. but I mean the Story Awards that round was so amazing. I was like, well, I completely see why. But I went back to that, and rather than just resubmitting the same set of images for that Story Award in the next round, I had a look at it and I rethought, have I got the right shots here? And there was 2 images that I liked. I mean, there was one in particular which I ended up taking out. It was a real moment, but it was just of the couple during the ceremony, and excuse me, it looked like it could have been a couple shot, and I thought, I like this. I think it clearly isn't a couple shot, but it's not advancing the story on at all from this point to the next point. It's just 2 people looking really happy. So I took that shot out and I put in a different, I can't remember which, but I put in a different, more of a transition shot. And then there was a later shot, which was very emotional at Indian wedding. There was the bride leaving the family and all the family hugging her in tears. And also it was a black and white shot. And I think I'd got randomly like 1 or 2 of the black and white. It just felt like the whole thing balanced out a little bit better.
Okay. That's cool. That's interesting to hear.
So I did make a couple of changes to that story, but it could have just been that it was different judges. But
well, there's always that factor as well, different judges. But that's interesting that you went back and kind of revised it that way. I think that's a really valid, really, really good thing to do, actually. Yeah, that's really good.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The last round that I've entered, I didn't really feel like I'd got anything worthy of a story, so I did enter the last, same as what I've entered before. but it was because I felt that this one was I just felt that this was a strong wedding, and it perhaps needed tweaking. What I'd submitted needed tweaking. So yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool. I mean, both ways of doing it. It's so valid with the different judges each round. You never know what's going to appeal to people as well. So
and I guess the point is always, if you believe in an image or a set of images, enter it. If it doesn't get an award, enter it again. Keep doing it. So definitely. As Peter Kay says, can I swear? No. If you throw enough shit, some sticks.
People have got a spell though now, man. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that.
No one can tell me off for that.
Cool. Let's change tack slightly, man. Let's change.
Cool.
What's something that you really love but that most people seem to hate?
How long can we have for a pause here? What do I really love that most people seem to hate?
Yeah.
I'm struggling here.
It's a random question. Maybe it's
I feel like this is one of those answers where I'm going to be walking down the street afterwards and I'm going to go, God, why didn't I say this?
Let's spin it round. Well, let's spin it round. What's something that you hate but that most people seem to love?
I've gone completely mind blank. I could give you a million. I could give you a million answers for this one. Everything. Everyone loves loads of stuff, and I'm like, are you kidding? Frozen. I saw some people the other day talking about Frozen, and I thought, what?
You don't like Frozen?
No.
Right. Let's end call.
Listen,
End call.
I mean, I don't dislike it as much as I used to, but I mean, because I've got two kids, a boy and a girl, and the first time I felt, it's been a few years since Frozen came out, and Stan doesn't seem too interested. I think I've got away with it, and then we had a girl. It's on all the time.
It's great though, man. Have you seen Frozen 2?
No, this is the reason why I rent an office now and don't work from home anymore. No, I haven't.
Frozen 2 is really good, actually.
No, I'm sure it is. I'm sure if I actually sit down and watch it, we've had it on this morning, if I'm honest. I don't dislike it. I think it's just that song. It's that song.
Oh, it's a great song. It's a great song. Do you know what that I love? Have you ever seen Wicked, the musical?
No.
Oh, okay. So it's the person. Oh, anyway, okay. That's not very interesting. But I love Wicked. I've seen it about 3 times, and I love the musical to that. I mean, the songs, and it's the same singer who does Elsa in that, and so that's really uninteresting. Anyway, little segue. Let's
What can you? If I think of a really good answer, can I phone you back and edit it back in? Oh, I feel like I need to give you a really good solid answer for this one, and I've got nothing.
Just keep it in your mind, and you think about it later on in the podcast episode. You can just put it in.
Yeah. What do I love that nobody seems to like?
Yeah. It's quite an interesting one, but I can't think for myself either. So maybe, yeah. Let's just go on something else. Dave. Looking back at life or business or both, are there things that you would have done differently?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, I'll do life first. I could give you all the classic things when you look back in your life as a teenager and be like, I wish I was more like this, or I wish I'd done that. I'm not going to go, too far down the line, but I do definitely wish with life that I had done more traveling before I got into this. Yeah, before I got into lockdown. Yeah, no, I mean, I just my wife did loads of traveling, had a great time, and I kind of went straight from university into a job. And while I went on holidays with friends and things like that, I never did that travel. And now I've got kids, and it's not so easy. There are so many places that I would love to just go. And while I love, having like being with the kids and going on family holidays and things, there's some things that you just want to do either on your own or with your wife or something, So like tour America. I want to go to a lot of places in America, like the West Coast and stuff. I've only ever been to New York, so yeah. One day, hopefully.
When the kids are like 18 or 20 and they're at university.
Exactly, yeah. And when I'm too old to do anything. So yeah, that with business. I mean, I don't know whether there's more there available now, like whether it be workshops and things like that, where people, I've got some friends now that they're absolutely, their pictures are absolutely brilliant. They're doing really well. They're getting loads of bookings, and they've only been going a year or two, and that's amazing. And I mean, I went from having a year with 2 in the diary, and the next year I had like 5, and then 12, and it was just years and years and years of just not really knowing what I was doing. And I'll tell you that the biggest thing for me, because I was living down south near Brighton at the time, when we moved back up to Clitheroe, where I live now, it was just getting out there and hanging out with people, other suppliers, other photographers, vendors, other, people at venues, wedding dress shops, everything, just making friends. If there was a social event, going to it, and
it's always nerve-wracking, though, isn't it? Do you get nervous in like social?
Yeah, I'm rubbish at small talk.
You're not.
No, no, I am. There's loads of people, and like other photographers. I love this guy's work. I'd love to go and talk to him, and then I just feel like another boring person that's got nothing to say.
Dude, no, of course not, man. And you're actually
obviously, there's some people that are an exception that you sort of can hit it off easy with, like yourself. And I remember at Nine Dots having a great laugh with Dan Morris. I mean, he was just easy people that are really easy to have a laugh with, So yeah,
I get that. I get that social anxiety. Even I've been to loads of conferences and stuff now. I still get it. I think it's really important. If anyone's listening though, has never been to like a conference or networking thing, I think it's just so good to do, isn't it?
Yeah, and you find most people are really friendly as well. I think that reputation of, people not sharing secrets and being, really funny and whatnot. I think that's an old thing now. I don't think it's really true anymore. You might. I sometimes see some egos in Facebook groups and things, but you just ignore it, don't you?
Yeah, that's true. But even sometimes some people in a Facebook group, when you meet them in the flesh, they're totally different as well, and they're like little
yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny.
Definitely.
Let's change tack slightly again now as well. Let's go.
And I'm still thinking of that answer.
I'm going to ask you again at the end. I want the best answer ever to that question. Then. Oh. Let's go specific on something I've not touched upon that much. So regarding editing specifically, can you tell us a bit about how you do yours? Any tips or bits of advice that has been found over the years that has maybe streamlined it or just made it more effective for you?
This is editing is it's an ongoing battle, I think, isn't it? I mean, yeah. I think I'm always looking for a more streamlined, easier way, because I think one of the most important things that I'd like to have is a better work-life balance. So I'm always keen. Anything when anyone says, "Oh, do this to speed up," blah blah blah, I'm interested. But then I went the opposite way recently and went on Ross Harvey's editing workshop.
Yeah, but I thought when you were going to say you're going the opposite way, I thought it must have been Ross Harvey's workshop.
So I'm in a bit of, but I can't. It goes back to what I was saying about being slow at drawing. I can't. If I see something in a picture, I can't leave it. I know some people can just go, next. And I can't do it. If there's a dot that's bugging me or something, it needs either cropping out or cloning out, or so I can't do it. But one of the biggest tips I think for me with consistency with editing is it was a game changer for me. It was around about end of 2016. I stopped using auto white balance. I shoot with a set white balance in my camera, because I know that you can just easily sort your white balance in Lightroom, but it just meant that all the pictures, if I do have a preset or a set color or I do an image that looks right, I can apply that to most of them, and they're all a similar color temperature. So that saved me a tip and gave more consistency in the look of the images. And like everyone says, I think, however many podcasts we're into this now, I think a lot of things have been said.
There's still unique things.
Cropping is a very important thing, isn't it? If it doesn't,
totally.
It goes back to submitting for awards. It made me look at my images and think, how can this be better? Does that need to be in the shot? Can I crop this better? And when I'm editing like that all the time, it then seeps into how I shoot in camera. In fact, does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and I think cropping is what I look at all the submissions and the awards as well, and just sometimes I just think, if that had just cropped, it'd be so much better. It's so powerful.
When it comes to awards, I think it's definitely worth having a look at your image and saying, and obviously I'm not saying black out all the background, but I'm saying does that image look as good as it can look? Is it cropped right, or is it quite? Does your eye go straight to the area of the image that you want it to go to? That is something that I do actually quite a lot of in editing. Is I do use radial filters and and whatnot, but I use them, I think, very subtly. I don't want it to look. The trick is that it's not got to look like I've done that. It's just so that the part of the picture that I want your eye to go to is just that fraction brighter than the rest, so that do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I don't like it when people go overboard, though. I call dodging. When they've got like quite a nice contrasty looking image, and then the face is like really hazy.
Yeah.
It's not going to look like it's been edited. That's the trick.
That's cool. Yeah, I totally get that.
Hopefully I do. I don't know.
You do a great job with your editing, man. I think you really do. It's spot on. Really, really good.
Yeah, but I'm getting lots of grey hairs because of it. I just take too long.
Hey, you just be thankful you've got hair, man.
Yeah, too much of it now with this lockdown. But and that's the other thing as well. Is like I'm easily distracted. I 5 images in, I'm watching something on YouTube, or I'm playing music again, or yeah.
How long does it take you on average to edit a wedding then?
6 months.
You're 2 weddings a year.
Well, I'd love to be able to say that I could edit a wedding in a day. It blows my mind that people can edit a wedding to the standard that they do. Like, because the photographers who I really admire the work of and I'm really inspired by, and I just look at their pictures, I think how the hell have you done that in a day? I can't do it. Culling obviously is a good shout,
Ooh, I hate the cull.
I think if I don't get distracted, I could probably do a wedding in 2 days, but realistically, with everything else in life going on, it probably takes me probably 4 or 5 days. Which I think
that's not too bad. Though.
I think it is. Some people are spitting their coffee out on the computer right now.
Do you know, I like to get to the next wedding having already edited the one before, so I don't build a background. So that's a goal.
I tell you what, also is tricky. Sometimes if it's been a really good wedding and I want to share a load of the pictures immediately, like on Instagram, I edit too many sneak preview shots. So then when I come to actually editing the whole wedding, the colours in those are slightly off what they are when I'm doing the whole wedding, and it's like, oh, now I need to make them look like this. Oh, actually, these ones look a bit too yellow now, so yeah. Oh, so don't do too many preview shots.
That's a good tip. Don't give your clients any previews at all.
These are only things that work for me, of course. I'm not saying that there's no right or wrong answer with anything, is there?
No, there is no right or wrong answer. Apart from some questions that do have a right or wrong answer.
There will definitely be some right or wrong answers coming when I feel it. I think the wrong answer is giving no answer.
That's true. Yes. Yeah. Right. I'm going to interrupt this podcast now because we've got.
Are you giving me to think of the answer?
No, just because we're doing something a little bit special with this one because it's a milestone in that I saw the other day checking the stats that we've had 15,000 plays of the podcast so far, which is mental because we only launched it in November. So that's awesome. So I just want to celebrate that. We're going to give away 5 memberships, or if you're an existing member and you win, then we're going to add a year onto your membership. And there's 2 parts to this. One is that you need to know this secret phrase, which you can only get from listening to this episode, because I want to get, I think people, I want to get more listeners. I think the people that we interview, and yourself including, really deserve to be listened to by as many people as possible. So I want to encourage more listens. So yes, this secret phrase can only be found in this episode, and the secret phrase is, David?
Chicken legend.
It is.
Chicken legend.
So
that's definitely something that I'm going to hope you edit out.
I know, I'm keeping that in there.
It's like with the new intro.
So yeah, that is the phrase, chicken legend, and so that's the first part of what you'll need. The second part is because I just want to encourage people to look back through the back catalogue of podcast episodes. This is the 23rd episode with Dave, so we've got a lot there. We interviewed 2 people in the past who sometimes work with each other, but they're also in a relationship. So you don't need to listen to every podcast to find out who those 2 people are. We include synopses with each episode, so you can just look back and look at the synopses, and you'll be able to find out who these 2 people are that we've interviewed that are in a relationship. So yeah, and when you've got those bits of information, just head to thisreportage.com. There's a podcast link at the top, and just enter the answers on the form. And you'll be in a prize draw to win one of 5 TIR memberships, which are worth £100. So that's a £500 prize pool. As I say, open to members and non-members alike. So yes, that's cool. So yes, so what was the phrase again, Dave?
chicken legend.
It is. Awesome. Cool. Right. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, the deadline, by the way, for people, if you're listening to this maybe too late, the deadline for submissions to this contest is the 16th. 16th of April, 2020. So if you submit by then, that's all cool. Right. Let's go back to you, Dave. You have some good wedding stories. Can you tell us about what you did in front of your ex-girlfriend at one of your weddings?
Oh, well, I didn't actually do anything in front of her, but something happened to me. This is a short one. I was running along, saw a puddle, jumped in the air, and as I jumped in the air, split my pants. And I landed, I just overheard her go, "Has Dave split his pants?"
That must mean, was it awkward enough anyway with your ex-girlfriend being at a wedding you were shooting?
Probably not. I hadn't seen her for a long time. Nah, you're not really. It's all good.
It's all right.
It?
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I was happily with my now wife at the time, so it's all good.
Okay, that's good. What was another time you were mistaken for someone else?
Oh, yeah. So right. Okay. So there's a wedding venue that I have shot at a couple of times before, but when I got my pre-wedding questionnaire back, they were getting ready. The brides and the bridesmaids were getting ready. They'd hired this lovely little cottage to get ready in. So I'd not been to this cottage before. It's 20 minutes away from the venue. Popped it in the sat-nav, and it's a bit in the middle of the countryside, but there's a couple of houses. And I pulled into the driveway, and I was like, "Is this it? Is this it?" And then I saw in the front window a group of girls with all the dressing gowns on, and they were waving through the window at me. So here we are. I'm here. So took a few scene-setting photos of the outside of the building, and then went with my camera bag, knocked on the front door, and this lovely lady answered the door, again in one of those kind of dressing gowns that they wear at a bridal prep, and she invited me in, and I assumed it was the bride's mother. So I get taken in. I get taken into this room with all these other girls. Hey, how you doing, everyone? Nice to meet you all. Hello, I'm Dave. Blah blah blah. And then let them sort of carry on with their thing, whatever they're doing. And I started. I put my camera bag down. I went, "Oh, so it was Amy, the name of the bride. So where's Amy?" I went, "Oh, she's just upstairs." "Oh, cool, right, okay. Well, she'll be down soon, I take it." Yeah. So I started getting my camera out of the bag, and they all were now looking a little bit confused, and and they said, "Sorry, what are you doing?" I'm the photographer. I'm photographing Amy's wedding. So by coincidence, the person upstairs was also called Amy, and they went, "Oh no, it's not a wedding. We're a hen party. We thought you were the stripper."
That's so funny.
No, it's only 9 o'clock in the morning as well. How wild was that hen party going to get?
That is so true. Yeah. Did you?
No, I didn't, Alan. Like I know what you're going to say. I should have done. This is one of life's regrets. Definitely. This is what I could have done two things here. I could have got arrested actually, or I could have made some extra money that day. But the one thing I should definitely have done is started hustling. I should have got those business card. Hen party. Here's my business card.
That is so true. Wow, that's so funny.
I didn't do that either. I just laughed, packed up my camera again, had a really good story for when I went to meet the real Amy.
So what are the odds as well to have that both called Amy?
It was the way they were waving at the window and invited me in, and they were so welcoming. I was like, yeah.
That's
so
yeah, well, I've got I know
how many strippers bring a camera. I don't know.
The ones going that really like
Facebook Live.
It's funny talking about coincidences. Remind me, I've got a wedding videographer friend, and he sent out a finished edit to one of his couples, but he'd accidentally sent them the wrong video, another couple's video.
Oh, brilliant!
But the couple, the wrong couple, these people knew who the people were in the video.
No.
So yeah, they were friends with them, and they hadn't even. My friend hadn't shot both of their. Oh man, I just lost that totally. I'm totally gonna just edit that bit out because I just lost the story.
That's not fair. So basically, if you make a mistake, you edit it out. If I do, you don't.
Yeah. Right. I'm not even going to go back to that story because it was not even that.
No, I want to hear the end. Salmon, smoked salmon.
What?
hate smoked salmon.
Oh, really?
Everyone loves it. It's horrible. And I
Cool.
love mushrooms.
Oh,
Mushrooms. I mean,
okay.
some people love them, but a lot of people I know think they're slimy, horrible things. I will have mushrooms on everything, every meal. If it doesn't have mushrooms, my wife actually rolls her eyes every time she's going to the supermarket, or was, and says, anything in particular from the supermarket, Dave? And I say mushrooms and beer.
Nice. Have you tried mushroom beer?
I'm sure it's out there, but haven't yet. No,
Do you know, I'm with you on mushrooms. I love
love them.
I'm
All
not a
kinds of
vegetarian.
mushrooms.
Yeah, I'm not a vegetarian, but I love mushroom pizza. Just a fungi
Oh no,
pizza.
same. That's my favourite. Yeah.
It's
Well,
great.
you're a fun guy, Alan. I went
Boom,
there.
Do you know, I've not heard that one before. That's good, actually.
Have you not? Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's an awesome dad joke. I'm well going to use that now in my
I've got a
family.
few of those, but don't put me on the spot to say them.
What's your favourite dad joke?
Oh, no, see, I knew that was coming. I don't know. I use them all the time. Sometimes I don't even realise the dad jokes.
They're awesome.
I did-
They're the best.
I did have I see, it'll take me forever to find it in that thread. Yeah, no. I came out with one that I was particularly proud of, and can't tell you what it was.
Okay, great.
Cool story.
That's a great story. I'm gonna.
I have many. I have many great stories.
One of your reportage awards that I really love is the one with the cake in the foreground and the very cheeky looking boy in the background.
Oh yeah,
looking through the window at the cake, which I love. And if people are listening to this while they're editing, well, they're probably not, because there's no weddings to edit at the moment.
I've still got one. I've got one to edit.
Have you really?
Yeah, saving it, so I've got something to do.
But I'll include the image that we're talking about here. Yeah, so that reportage award is awesome, man. Can you tell us about that shot?
Oh well, thank you very much. It was a gift, really. That shot. So it was during the did we call it the reception, the cocktail hour, where there's loads going on, and there's loads of people at the front having a laugh, and I'm in the middle of it all, listening out for the people that are about to do the big belly laugh jokes, as everyone does. And I know that as reportage photographers, obviously we don't admit to doing too many detail shots and things, but I'd do a couple if I feel that there's nothing too much that I'm missing. So I nipped off just to get a quick picture of the room and photograph the cake and whatnot. And it was as I went to photograph the cake, I saw this little boy running backwards and forwards at the back through the window behind. And I just thought, well, this is way better than a boring cake shot. I'll just try and I want the cake in shot because that's my cake shot, but it's got something else to it. And I took loads of pictures. I framed it so that it was composition, so it was straight up, lined up, squared up. Sorry, that's what you say. And the cake was on the left hand side, and I had loads of space for this boy running left and right to the side of it. And that's what I got. And I was just constantly trying to time it so that his face was in one of the squares of the window. And I just keep going until it stops, so that I know that I've got the best shot, shoot through the moment curve, as they say. And, but then he just randomly saw the cake and stopped and just went, oh, and started pointing at it. And I was just still there. I'd not moved. And I was like, bah, 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 bah. Loved it. Yeah. It was,
That's so cool.
I've got about 40 of the same shot.
But that's so cool. And that's
only one was in focus because I'm not a Sony user.
That's such good advice though, man, shooting through the moment like that. And
it's important, isn't it? I think, and I'm not doing anything that new here, but that is definitely what I do a lot at weddings is if I see something that I think is an interesting composition frame, it's getting that shot set up in camera, but then it's got to have the moment, because otherwise it's just a pretty picture with no substance. So it's just waiting for the moment then, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. I bet you were well happy when the boy was looking at the cake then and doing that. It's exciting, isn't it?
It was better than I could have hoped for. His expression was amazing, and there was no way I could have known he was going to do that or asked him to do that, or even if you could hear me through a window. So it was better than I could have hoped for. Yeah, definitely.
That's cool. And with an image like that, and you've won a lot of reportage awards and other awards in different associations, when you're editing the images from the wedding, do you come across a certain image, and do you think, this could be good for an award?
Yeah. It's funny. It's a real mixture of things. Like there's some shots where as soon as you take it, you think, "Oh, that could be good. That could be good. I hope it's in focus. That could be a good shot." One of my favorite ones. It was in the story of my first story award with This Is Reportage, where they'd come out of church and the bride's grandma was coming up for a hug, and I knew she was important to the bride, so I ran in. This is a moment that I want to capture. But then over the top, the groom starts high-fiving his mate. So I'd got the two things in one frame, which I loved, and.
That's cool. I think that's your banner. I think that's your banner.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. So that was a shot that I ran away thinking, oh, that was in focus. But other times it's when I'm editing and I go, I don't remember taking that one. The award where everyone's eating the ice creams.
That was quite a recent one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't even remember taking that. It was when It was when I was looking through and I went, I love that. I do remember taking it, but I wasn't there for long. Like there was only two shots, like when I was talking about shooting through the moment, which you normally do, and like the bride walking to the ceremony with her dad, and I got a reflection in the mirror. That was something I'd sort of seen in advance and waited to happen.
That's cool.
Like with the boy with the cake. But
is that reflection show? Is it Gaines Park or something? No, where is it?
It is Gaines. Yeah, Gaines Park. Yeah,
I've seen that same mirror. I shot there like about 18 months ago. So I saw that opportunity. I was like, I want to try and get it, and I didn't get it like you did. You nailed it.
I love that venue. I tried to rank. I did a blog straight away for there. And
tried to what? What did you say?
I did a blog straight. Yeah, exactly. A blog straight away. It's one of the few that I've done, and I'm currently ranking 83, so
okay. That's not
I've not had many inquiries for that.
Oh, that's funny. And do you ever, just out of interest, do you ever like ask another photographer to look at your images to say what they think might be good for awards or anything? Or
I probably have before sometimes, but generally I don't. But I do. I kind of use Instagram as a bit of a gauge, really. Sometimes,
the ones that get the most kind of interactions and stuff. Or
yeah. I try. I would like to post more on Instagram and post more sort of things that happen at weddings, but I always just try and post pictures that I really, really like. So I try to do, and I don't know if some gets because it doesn't matter. We always complain that it's just other photographers that are liking pictures and you want couples. And obviously that's the main thing. That is what we do it for. But if I put an image out there and a handful of photographers like yourself who I like really admire and whatnot and love the opinion, their opinion really matters to me. And if they like it, I go, maybe this one's not too bad. I'll enter that one,
Oh, that's interesting. That's a good way of looking at it, actually.
I don't always do that. I mean, sometimes you just have a feel like that shot with the ice cream that I was just talking about. It wasn't one that I planned on entering, but it was a quiet time, and I submitted a few new images, and I went, I'm just going to throw this one in. I've got nothing to lose. Why not? But I just kept. It wasn't one that I initially loved, but I just had a feeling about it that I liked. So yeah,
that's cool. I think it's so important just to submit the ones that you really love, that you really have a passion for.
Well, yeah, because also one thing, if ever an image that you don't love wins an award, you don't want to shout about it.
That's so true, isn't it? Yeah, I get that. It's like, yeah.
Or if you're trying to sell yourself as a reportage photographer and you get an award for this amazing, epic, couple portrait, and it's like, well, I love this shot, but it's not really what I'm trying to sell myself as. So
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Cool. Let's change tack slightly again now. And this is a question I've asked a few times, but I've always been quite disappointed with the answers. So this might be the last time I ask it. I don't know. It's like, do you love 4 weddings and a funeral?
Oh, and why is it you're always disappointed with the answers that you get?
Because most people have not even watched it.
Craziness.
Do you like it then?
I love it.
Oh!
Yeah, I've got it on DVD, and it is one of the films that I sometimes have on in the background while I'm editing.
I've never edited to it. That's a good idea. Oh, it's so good, isn't it? I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, everything about it. I mean, it brings back loads of memories from like my sister's weddings, that era, that time, but also just the humor, the English humor. Certain catchphrases and swearing that you can't repeat on a podcast.
Oh yeah, it's the first line of the whole film.
I love the speech. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I love the speech when he says, "Of course, they're not still speaking to each other," and the guy laughing his head off in the background. It's brilliant. What's not to love? What is not to love?
I know, I love it, and also I love Andy McDowell. I think
I do.
McDowell's awesome,
and I also love Groundhog Day.
Oh yes, dude. Yeah.
Because it's also got Bill Murray in. If it's got Bill Murray in, it's in my top 10.
Yeah, but Ghostbusters is awful, isn't it?
So how do I end these calls? Ghostbusters is perfect. It is my all-time favorite film. It's got it all. It's brilliant.
Wow, your all-time favorite film.
Oh yeah. I mean, I keep going back to all these clever films that I should like. Grand Budapest Hotel and I love Lost in Translation. I mean, that's awesome, yeah. And Blade Runner and things like that. And I love horror. I'm a massive horror film geek. But yeah, Ghostbusters every time. And The Goonies.
Yeah, I do love The Goonies. I've not seen Goonies or Ghostbusters in years. Yeah.
My kids are getting to that age now where they can watch it. I'm so excited.
Dave, what are you afraid of?
Coronavirus. No.
Well, that is pretty scary. No. If it doesn't kill you, it's going to ruin the whole world. God.
What am I afraid of? This podcast going out.
Yes, it should be.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What are you afraid of?
I mean, I don't know if I would say I'm afraid of it. Something that I do worry about is what I'm going to do next. Because as I love wedding photography, and I want to do it as long as people want me to photograph their weddings,
Or as long as there are weddings.
Well, or as long as there is weddings, yeah. Because I had a little scare about 5 or 6 years ago where I just wasn't doing very well, and I thought I'm gonna have to get another job, and I just hadn't got a clue what I could do, what I could earn. Or everything that I've learned from the past however many years is all photography. It's not a transferable skill for a job that's going to earn me a good living. Yeah, that scares me. And I might get to the age where some cool young early 30s couple don't want this old duffer at the wedding.
That's next year probably, or year after.
Alan, how dare you? How rude of you! I think you're at least a few months older than me.
I do get that as a valid worry, though. Do you think we'll still be shooting in 10, 15 years time?
I do. Yeah, I'm thinking more a bit longer than that. I do think that it's not an immediate worry, and I think things will, evolve. Things always evolve, don't they? And maybe there won't be as many workshops then, and then I can do workshops. I don't know.
You really should do your own workshop, man. You really should.
I'd love to at some point, but I don't know if the time's right yet. But I also
maybe
don't.
Not now.
I don't. Yeah, no, it's definitely not now. I don't want to do one just for the sake of doing one. I want to offer something. I want to have a unique twist. I want to have something different to what everyone else is doing. I don't know what that is.
You could DJ whilst you're doing the workshop as well.
Yeah. How to do stripping photography and DJing all at the same wedding.
There you go. That is a USP. That is a USP.
I've DJ'd at a wedding before, actually.
I was going to ask, do you, when you turn up as a photographer in the evening, do you ever are you ever tempted to just jump on the decks?
No. I've DJ'd at 2 friends' weddings before. I don't want to do it again.
Was it stressful?
It's not. Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it's very stressful. Yeah,
you just put on S Club 7, don't you, and then just go and sit at the bar and like.
No, I don't. I should do, and then you pull out your big hitters like I don't know, Fleetwood Mac, Everywhere. Everyone loves that tune. That's a surefire hit, and then and then you get 3 people on the dance floor.
Oh yeah, that must suck. Does it?
And you think, if I've only got 3 on for this, what do I do next?
Is it hard not to take personally when people just leave?
Not really. Well, the thing is I don't really care because I don't plan on being a wedding DJ. No. I do, but I think what it is I've only ever done it at 2 friends' weddings, and I said, "You don't want me at your wedding. I'm not a good wedding DJ." I don't play that kind of. No, but we don't want you to, Dave. We want you to play, whatever that you might have played at Sankey's or something. And like, really? I'm not sure your parents and grandparents want that. No, don't worry, they'll be in bed by then. They're not in bed. The moment comes and they're wondering why you're not playing Barry Manilow. I don't have any. So funny. Start sweating, sweats, bad sweats. So and then you're just waiting for the buffet to come out so that you can call the buffet and everyone will be happy again.
Okay, let's change tack again.
Stop me from getting too technical.
What do you find the most challenging aspect of wedding photography to be?
Well, I mean, there's so many answers, isn't there? So many things. I mean, it is challenging, and I suppose staying unique and standing out so that you get the bookings. I mean,
how do you do that though? I mean, that's such a good point, and it's something that I think a lot of photographers are so interested in. How do you get your style? How do you stand out from the crowd? How do you do it personally?
I don't know. I don't know if I do. I think so. I think over time, and it's come from like I have done a few workshops myself. I've done your workshop, which is brilliant, and I got loads of gold nuggets from that. And I always remember taking from that to only show what you love. And although I do group shots, I don't ever show group shots, things like that. And and I think over time with picking up gold, you do sort of. I like to think, hope, develop your own style, but. It's you've got to do everything, haven't you? There's not really one trick anymore. I don't think you can just be good at SEO or good at this one thing or whatnot. However, Alan, one thing that I will say again, I'm really angling for the year membership to get extended here. I have had 4 inquiries which have turned to bookings now, and they found me through This Is Reportage.
Oh man, that's so cool.
So it shows that the couples look at the This Is Reportage site.
That is cool.
So
thank you.
So
that's
you've
really
got
good to know that as well.
It is as well, because I said earlier, I don't know, keep banging about awards. They're a personal challenge for me, like I said, and I always feel awkward if ever I am lucky enough to get one. I always feel I'm not much of a social media person. I wish I could think up some funny thing to say along with it. Some other photographers. Like Andy Keir or someone, that I always find whatever they put with it is absolutely hilarious, and I wish I was able to think of something witty to say, but it is that's one of the reasons why I like to enter these things is because couples do look on there and find you, and that's cool. That's the proof. So
have you shot those weddings yet?
No. One of them is still on for August this year, but we'll see the next year. But they're really good weddings as well, and I've got it on my screen here. I don't want to bore you, but they're good inquiries. You know what I mean? Dave, but it says we're looking for a reportage photographer. It's really important to have someone who can capture the true atmosphere and moments. That's the opening line. Later on it says. We're not necessarily looking for heavy bokeh and abstract shots, but really just the moments. But I mean, that's like a dream inquiry, isn't it? And alarm bells started ringing, and I was like, oh, so where have you heard about me? This is Reportage. So
that's really cool. Yeah. That's cool, man. Thank you. It's great to have that feedback as well. I know that people are getting found and bookings from it as well. That's really cool.
Exactly. It's worth the membership alone, isn't it?
And people can win a free membership by listening to your episode, man. Special. Let me ask, I know this is probably a super hard question, but can you think of a certain photo that you took that's had, and I'm thinking of it, just one single image. Have you taken a certain image that's had some kind of lasting impact, maybe on your career, maybe on your confidence, your direction, or just an image that's really memorable to you for some reason?
That's a good question. There's the one that I mentioned before with the hug and the high five. That was a shot that that was one of the earlier shots that I was really happy with the moment, but I felt like I'd captured it pretty well, and I sort of I used that picture a lot after that. So that was one. There was a really lovely moment with the bride and her dad. Actually, a lot of people who have commented on it think it's a granddad, but it's a dad, and he was unable. He couldn't walk, and he was in a wheelchair, and he was at the end of the aisle. So she came down the aisle on her own, and before she went to her husband to be, she just went over and crouched by her dad, and they held hands, and he just welled up, and that was a really touching moment, definitely. Yeah,
it's mad that we get.
There's loads. I mean, I don't want to bring anything down here. There was one that I took at a recent wedding, and it's not one that I've shared anywhere. No one's seen it except me and the couple. Right. But it was just during the speeches, and the groom's stepmom could tell at the time that she obviously, wasn't well. She'd had she'd had a bandana on in the morning, and a drip in her arm, and do you call it a bandana? I don't know, a handkerchief on her head. Sorry, right. And a couple of weeks after the wedding, the bride got in touch and said, look, we know you're really busy. James's stepmom hasn't got too long left, kind of thing, and we were hoping to show her the picture. So obviously I bumped him up the queue and got the pictures out. And there was this one picture during the speeches where she looked so happy and beautiful, and she just had this tear just rolling. She's just smiling, big smiling, teeth smile. And she just got a finger on her cheek with this little tear coming down. And I just thought she looks brilliant on that, and they're going to love it. That picture. Man. I've never had any feedback from that picture, but I just, and it choked me up a little bit as I was editing it. Knowing what I then knew I didn't know it when I took it, but when I was editing it, I knew. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, is that what you asked? Is that the right answer? Is that the question?
Well, there's no right or wrong answer. Yeah, it was just about memorable images to you, really. Yeah. So yeah, that's really interesting, man. It's mad, isn't it? Because
that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's being able to give people these pictures.
It is totally. That is what it's about. Totally. Yeah. And we're in such a privileged position to be able to do it when hopefully weddings come back. If weddings come back, They will. I know they will. What is going to be?
I just can't wait to start seeing you checking in at McDonald's again.
I can't wait for that as well.
What is your first meal going to be?
I think it might be a chicken legend.
What is your favorite McDonald's meal?
Chicken legend. Do
you have the desserts?
No, I don't actually.
I'm giving people the interview that they want. They want you.
What are you looking forward to the most? Not just the meal. What are you looking forward to doing the most as when lockdown is lifted?
I'm going to sound like an alcoholic here, but going for a pint in a pub.
Do you have a nice local that you go to?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Well, I have an office above a wedding venue in Clitheroe, which it's a really cool venue, and on the ground floor it's a massive beer hall. So so that's good. Yeah. In all truth, that was a bit of a joke. I mean, I'm looking forward to having a pint, but I'm looking forward to giving my parents a really big hug.
Oh yeah, Oh, it's sad, isn't it? It's really
yeah.
Oh, dude. Okay, we got time. Let's do one more question. Just got time for one more question, I think.
Bring it back up.
Yeah, let's lift it. What, in your opinion, makes a good wedding photographer? What is your overall advice? How to be a good wedding photographer?
How efficiently you can arrange a heart-shaped group photo.
That's important.
Yeah. Well, I think delivering what people want from you. If people, I like to think, find you because they like your work and that's what they want, and giving them that consistently. I think, and being reliable, consistent, professional, and just knowing that you can get these from every wedding, these kind of shots that they want from every wedding, really. The moments that they're going to love. I mean, it's easy to organize a family photo, isn't it? It's easy to get a shot of a bride and groom looking nice, but I think I always want to just know that I'm giving them some pictures that mean something, and just being consistently able to achieve that, I think, is being a good wedding photographer. Is it?
I think that's really good. Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, that consistency.
And it's not about money, but also having enough running a business that you can pay the bills without having too much stress each month.
Oh, that's a life
Because it is important, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've not achieved that yet.
And the current climate has made that a little bit harder as well.
Yeah. But I think that is a good photographer, isn't it? If someone loves their work and the couples love their work and they love the pictures they get back, then you've done it. You've nailed it.
Oh, exactly that. Yeah, exactly that, man. Man, that's great.
Is that a good enough answer? I don't know.
That is a very good answer. Yes, that's perfect, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So is this going to be edited down, all the fluff and nonsense I've talked, down to the shortest podcast yet?
No. No, man. Everything you said is just awesome. Dude, honestly, thank you. That was so good.
Thank you. No, thanks very much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And
it's always a pleasure to talk to you as well.
Thanks for asking me. I'm honoured with the amazing people that have been on so far. I hope I can live up to it.
It's my honor to have you on here, and of course you did. You're awesome. Anyone who's listening, as I said, whilst editing or running, if you're doing your one run that you're allowed to, at the moment, I don't know.
I'd run from this podcast.
Run from the. No, head to the site. This is reportage.com. I'll include loads of examples of Dave's work. That specific Reportage Award with the cake he was talking about as well, and links to your website. And as I said before, we have that contest, special contest to win one of 5 memberships. And what was the secret phrase again, Dave?
Chicken legend.
So you just need that phrase as well as the names of the 2 photographers that we've interviewed that are in a relationship as well. And yeah, head to the site and enter, and you'll have a chance. So, man, awesome. Dave, honestly, thank you so much. And hopefully I'll get to see you in the flesh again soon.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, definitely. I hope so. I hope it won't be as long as next year.
Yes, I know. Fingers crossed. Man, Dude, thanks again so much.
Thank you, mate. Keep safe.
Bye, man. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.
You've been listening to the 23rd episode of the This is Reportage podcast. Dave was a real pleasure to chat to. I hope you enjoyed listening. Head to thisisreportage.com to see more of his work, including the Ace Boy Wedding Cake Reportage Award that he discusses in the episode. You'll also see the contest entry form if you fancy entering to win one of 5 memberships. If you enjoyed the podcast today, you can subscribe to our show on iTunes to be notified when each new weekly episode is ready, bringing you advice, tips and backstories from some of the world's best photographers each week. We have lots more episodes already released, so do check out our back catalogue if you enjoyed this one today. And if you're not yet a member of This Reportage, check out all the benefits of joining us, including an unlimited number of images on your profile, 60 Reportage Award and 18 Story Award entries per year, invites to our physical meetups and parties, exclusive discounts and more. Collection 15 of our awards is now open for entries. Deadline for submission is 23:59 BST on 24th of May 2020. No poses, nothing staged. This is Reportage. And this is bye for now.